Hey, what's up everybody? Sapo here with Tom from KWA, here to select the 2019 MVP from the SpeedQB National Championships.
Me and my team, we selected the best player from the entire tournament, and we're gonna give him one of these QRF MOD.1 Special Editions. In case you guys haven't seen this before, these come designed by Sapo himself, Gate Titan installed, Speed Trigger. Great job done by Airsoft N More, by the way, shout out to you guys. But we are here because I watched the tournament in its entirety. You know, I gotta say, man, a lot of great competition.
For sure. I think, with any competition, with any sport, you're always gonna have some standout players,
Right.
Amongst the teams. Not to take away from the team's performance, but in any sport, you're always gonna have your Kobe's, you're always gonna have your Michael Jordans and your LeBrons, And I think, in reviewing the footage, there are a few standouts, and we have some footage here that we're gonna go over.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think being able to break down each highlight, it brought some new perspective to the
sure.
gameplay. Eric, what do you think being an MVP is about?
Well, I think the most obvious answer for that is like somebody who's a good player, just
Right.
overall, a well-rounded, skillful player. But I don't think that's the entire deciding factor.
Well, they're playing in the team.
For sure. And I think what an MVP does, like any of the greats, like I keep saying Michael Jordan, is that MVP also makes their team better.
Right.
In order for one player to succeed on the SpeedQB field, the entire team needs to play as a unit. So not only does the player need to be a good individual player based on individual skills, but they also need to be a good team player and uplift their team and allow their team to shine and do their job.
Right.
And of course, the third criteria, in my opinion, is to be a polarizing and entertaining player. It has to be somebody that's fun to watch, and you want to keep your eyes locked on them because they're gonna do something crazy or they're gonna break the game wide open.
Hey, and before we get too far into the individual highlights, shout out to all the teams that perform well as a team.
For sure.
Shout out to LTD2, Wanda Chip. Man, exciting stuff, guys. And I think I'm not only am I excited for next year's stuff, but I'm excited to see what kind of growth that overall KWA, SpeedQB, and all the teams were able to bring to the airsoft culture next year, man.
For sure, man.
This tournament featured a bunch of teams that were not from California, right?
Yeah. Obviously we had our core teams from the LA area, but we had teams visiting from other parts of the world as well. Like places like United Kingdom, Northern California, Oregon, Georgia. Yeah, it's grown from much more than just a local thing. It's something and it's an event that people are willing to travel to.
Right. Yeah. So before we talk more about the MVP discussion, let's get into some of the highlights. So first one, I want to get into a really special moment. Sam from Trim.
So here we have Trim advancing on the castle side. We have Sam in the center X. We have one elimination off the 1S1K side, allowing Trim to advance up the field to clear the field. Now, what you don't see on screen is that there's one live player. Sam was able to get the flag and hang it before that last player on 1S1K was eliminated, therefore rewarding Trim a bonus of 15 points. So the arena went wild afterwards because not only did she get the cojones bonus, she did it in front of the entire crowd, and I think it was very impactful, like you said. It's a very
shout out to Sam. That was
key. It was a very key play made there. Now, what's very special about this moment is that there's not that many female airsofters, and there's not that many females that compete on this level. So for her to pull off something like that in front of a crowd and to make the crowd go wild like that, I think is very significant.
Eric, so the next highlight, I need you to kind of break this down for me, all right? I saw Sosa crawling. Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, so I think what made this highlight interesting is not only the way he did that crawl, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about playmakers, about players who are able to change the course of a game with just a few movements or just by eliminating a few key players and just breaking the game wide open. So here we see Sosa crawling very weirdly up the snake, like as if he's like...
That was the first thing I noticed.
It's almost like he has no legs and all arms, but he gets into position and he's already aware, 100% aware of where the targets are. He's just looking for that angle, peeking in, and as soon as that opposition gives him 1 inch, takes his arm off, gone, one guy down. two players clustered up in one back bunker. Sosa got the angle and eliminated both in one motion, double kill. And of course we see Rooster go around friendly firing Sosa and getting shot in the process. And going back to what I was saying about the criteria of not just only having great individual skills, it's the ability of a MVP type player to play well individually and to play well as a team. Now, what we see here in this clip with Sosa is that he's advancing up Snake. He knows that he has a mirror in his Snake. He's communicating with Demo. There's two instances here where Sosa saves Demo from being eliminated, you know, and allowing a move like that to happen where Demo's able to wrap around. A critical play is not only made by running down the field and killing everybody in sight, it's kind of paving the way for your team to do their jobs, to get to work. Allow Demo to hone in on the remaining player there. People, you know, are oftentimes polarized by this crazy highlight reel without realizing what it takes as a team to get there. You know, it looks like one person did it, but what actually happened was it was the effort of 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The games happen so fast that sometimes people don't see it at home.
Man, that's crazy. That's a crazy way to break down what happened in that moment. Shout out to Sosa, Demo. That was special.
It's always a chain of events when it comes to teamwork. You know, it's never just like one guy running out there killing everybody, and then, you know, it's like this glory moment. It's not that at all. It's all hard work.
So Eric, I wanted to point out one of the moments where Manny from LTD was crawling through the bunker.
Oh yeah, so there's that one play where he like crawled through the snake.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, you know, that's very creative use of cover. And the reason why I think this stood out is that people tend to play barriers the same way. He saw an opportunity to get creative, and he saw a little crack, and then he crawled through. Most people playing in the snake expect the opposing player to only attack them from the same side, but what he did is he crawled under, played the highway, basically on the inside of it, and then shot him from the outside of the snake in. So that's very creative, and I think that's what really stood out about that play. I'm sure he was very mindful of the situation. Like, he knew that he wasn't able to get shot. That's why he crawled from the outside, because that's a dangerous maneuver. If you crawl on the outside of the snake, you have to worry about the opposing side of the field coming and shooting you from across the field.
I see.
You know what I mean? So it was a bold move, but I'm guaranteeing you it was an educated move on the skate. I'm not sure if he got shot at the end though. I think he did, but the fact is that he took the player out of the snake, you know, so it was a key play.
I want to talk a little bit about Union. I like the way they have teamwork going. I like the way they play. They play very aggressive. Can you walk me through that one moment that I think we both pointed out earlier?
Yeah, so there's one game here in this clip where we see Union playing 3 men down, basically, because they lost 3 guys during the game. Union, Virus, and Wolf are left, and they're aware of the situation. So situational awareness is key here, teamwork is key. And what they did was they decided, knowing that Wolf's gun was down, they only had 1 working gun, 2 players on the field versus, I believe, 3 remaining players on the opposing team. They made a conscious decision to go for the flag and to hang it, you know, before they eliminated the last player. Now, what Virus did here was he went into the snake, knowing that anybody going into the snake is going to be a troublemaker. They're going to cause commotion. They're going to cause chaos. Bringing all the guns and all the eyes on him, allowing Wolf to wrap around the opposite side of the field, go for the flag, and hang the flag while everybody's still looking and paying attention to Virus.
Crazy.
Yeah, well orchestrated teamwork. Perfect example of situational awareness that allowed them to come down from a situation where they're actually at a disadvantage, using it to their advantage.
Shout out Team Union, man. That was a great performance. All right, so Eric, the last one I want to point out is Asylum.
So here we see Q in the snake here, and he's watching down tape side, not getting locked down, not getting tunnel vision, switches over, looks inside, peeks inside to see if there's anybody looking at him, and he sees that nobody's looking at him, so he's able to post up. He's waiting up on that back right target, takes him out, and now he's able to move back a little bit and adjust his angle and maybe show a little bit more to peek inside. So he's using the inside to look on the left, where most people would probably try to look left because it's like literally there, but he's being creative use of cover, situational awareness, and he's doing it consistently. You notice that he's never really breaking form. Gun's always up, he's always looking, he's never just looking. He's always ready. He sees somebody, he shoots. But not only is he doing that, he's not doing it recklessly. You know, here we see him doing it on the other side of the field now, looking down tape side. He sees a player enter his mirror. He doesn't freak out. He stays calm, stays on the tape. His back player shoots him out. He actually shifts back, and then he shifts forward again, playing with the minds of the opposing team, not really letting them know where he is, you know, kind of letting them play this guessing game, causing all this confusion, causing all this chaos. And it looks like he's doing it by himself, but he's not. He has players supporting him, allowing him to get to work. And then once he takes everybody out, the team advances, moves up as a unit, wins as a team.
This type of competition brings out the best in athletes, right? In my opinion, SpeedQB players on this platform should be considered as athletes because of what they do and because of the time they put into their craft.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it takes practice, it takes time. It takes dedication, you know. A lot of people fizzle out, a lot of people burn out. It takes passion, and I think that's what's important. Like people who want to get good, naturally are going to want to get better. So, and that's a key mindset that an athlete should have.
And speaking of athlete, I think it's time to get into the best athlete or the best player that was part of this tournament. I want to go back to Asylum because there was someone that really stood out, and that was Quintin Harris, Q. He's someone that I felt like everyone in the comments were talking about. I was paying attention to him. I know you.
Yeah,
you definitely. Yep.
Definitely.
Can you break down his performance a little bit for me?
Yeah. So what I saw all day from Asylum is that their key player, which is Quintin Harris, he was playing the snake and he was doing it in a very impactful way. And not only did he make an impactful performance, but he did it consistently.
Absolutely.
He did it over and over again. Teams did not know how to deal with it. They knew exactly what he was going to do, but they had nothing in their arsenal or nothing on their belt to stop them. That's what made Quintin so special that day, is that he was able to go out there, execute his game plan, play his game. He knew what his bread and butter was. He knew that once he got in the snake, he could do damage. All the other teams knew, we can't let this guy in the snake, but there was nothing they could do to stop him, so they had to deal with that. And what happens is it creates so much confusion for their team because they got to put 2 or 3 eyes on it. And what that does is it shifts focus only to that side of the field and goes back to what we were saying about his performance allowing the rest of his team to get to work, you know? Like his back players are able to shoot a bunch of people that are only looking at him, that have their eyes off of where they should be looking, you know, which is battling, you know, calling out positions, but they're just worried about Q and the snake.
Yep. And how important is it that he's bringing some paintball experience into this?
You know, I think that it's very impactful when any athlete brings in a skill set that's outside of airsoft, whether it's somebody who runs really fast, whether it's somebody with great conditioning, whether it's somebody with great reaction time that could from any other sport. But the fact that he is playing a snake and he has paintball experience, it actually puts him above a lot of players and their understanding of playing that position. It's a very tight spot, it's angle based, and it relies heavily on creativity and being able to think on the fly.
Okay, yeah, so from a viewer's perspective and from my perspective, I want to give a big shout out to Quintin Harris. I think he definitely caught my eye.
For sure, and he caught my eye as well. You know, I think from the first round that I saw him play, I already knew what this guy was about, what his style was, you know, because, you know, I come from that too. So, and it always makes me really happy to see people cross over and succeed, taking one skill set from one sport, bringing it into another, and being able to dominate that way, in that fashion.
Yeah, so definitely that's my pick for MVP. What do you think?
I think all around all across the board, I agree with you as well. I think the viewers back home, that was resonating in the comments. They're just constantly saying it's Q, you know, Q for MVP, Quintin Harris MVP, Quintin from, you know, so, Quintin Harris holding it down for 2 and 9, holding it down for Stockton, you know.
Okay, so Q, hope you enjoy this gun. We're gonna invite you out to the KWA office. This gun comes out December 14th at 6 p.m. So hope you guys enjoy this.
So there you have it, KWA MVP of the 2019 SpeedQB Championships. Congratulations again to Q from Asylum Airsoft. Shout out NorCal, shout out 209.
Hey, make sure you head over to kwa-usa.com and get all the latest news of our special edition and all of our latest products.